Let's remember, Halo spawned that red versus blue series, which really taught everyone in the community to not take yourself too serious, right? Have fun, compete hard, and see who the best is, as we have Gamers First taking on BXR. BXR looking for a surprise upset here. And they've got the Rockets to work with off the rip. Huge opening win for them. Huge opening break win for them, as the opening strats are better than G1's for now, as they take all 4 down.
All 4 go down for Gamers First, and just what you said, Gamers First don't take anything for granted. Watch out, BXR off that 3-0 are looking sharp and ready to rumble. Stepstool gets a takedown, but the breaking kill comes through as well. And now here is the force. It's Sab leading the charge with the double kill. Suspector cleans up the final kill. So if you're gonna go 4 down in the opening series, the best way to respond is with 4 down on your side.
Yeah, and BXR with, we'll call it half the milk that they needed to have a really successful opening break start of 30 seconds. Because of it, G1 is going to fairly easily overcome that lead with 20 and rolling. And they have Sab anchoring this needle side, or this nest side, with the stalker rifle. Those shots are going to be good enough to take down one as he looks for Saint, but he only has 1 shot left. Gonna have to pull out that shotgun, instead reposition, rotate. But Saint, recognizing that Sab has the shotgun, he elects to just dip. That's a great play there from Saint. Smart heads up play.
Smart heads up play for both players. Sab really couldn't push the rest of that fight because he wasn't close enough to close out with the Bulldog. So he actually has to opt to pick up the commando that's on the ground. Falcated gets a takedown. Saint is going to be last alive, trapped in the back of PD, and look at the trap coming through. Falcated dropping the drop wall here on this push, and again, not giving Saint too much to work off of. And I think that play just kind of perfectly isolated that Gamers First are not taking BXR for granted. You're not just ego challenging straight on the push. Falcated playing very smart and a little conservative.
Yeah, you could almost argue the team wipe for BXR was the worst thing that could have happened to him, because it woke this G1 squad up early as Boobadooboo nearly connects on the collateral for the triple kill with those rockets. But instead, only 1 goes down for BXR. An opportunity here, a little numbers even for each of these 2 teams to regain control of the map, but it's been all G1. And look at this rotation. The rotation, G1 always moving the oddball away from the BXR opponents. 3 go down as G1 looks to put the finishing touches on this round with, again, what do you know, another rotation here towards the C base.
Yeah, they're really rotating the oddball all around the map, running labs, if you will, around this BXR team, and they only need to hold on for 10 more seconds. Sab tries to get the melee out, but 2 go down for Gamers First. BXR on a little bit of a push through. Boobadooboo answers back with the double kill, and time is going to run out on this first round. That opening team wipe looks like it was more of like a bucket of cold water splashed across Gamers First face. They've woken right up, and they're ready for this fight.
Yeah, the opening strat was enough for BXR, but it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish, and really, it was only the opening for BXR that looked strong based on the eye test, as it was all G1 after that. BXR not able to even pick up the oddball after that opening win for them, and now it's a little bit of a flipped fortune as 3-4 go down for BXR, and G1 looks to take advantage of this early hold.
And they're picking up the oddball right where they left off at the end of round number 1 on this subway side. Boobadooboo with an extra rocket doesn't get the full kill, but he doubles back away, happy to get the assist and giving Suspector that double kill. Again, it's not about who gets credited for the kill, it's the kills for the team, and in this case, kills that protect the oddball carrier, which is in the hands of Sab, milking some more objective time. Suspector at exactly 100 even seconds is now playing that role of lead Slayer, opening up opportunities.
Yeah, you can see Suspector and Falcated here on this purple side of the map, looking to bait and switch their way to some extra oddball time, but Suspector goes down. Falcated last one up of that duo, and just as he gets his shields recharged, there's that numbers push we saw in that previous round for BXR, taking advantage of the 2v1 scenario, once again taking down Fal and Sab, and this should lead to some ball time for them if they're able to execute.
Ooh, the timing on that push was perfect from BXR. Off of that first takedown, they kind of snowballed it, or a stack of dominoes, rather. Once one falls, the next can go down. And we did see 6 seconds of oddball time. Stepstool has the objective here, ready to pick it up, but might try to get a quick reset. No grenades to work with after utilizing that spike grenade for a beautiful takedown. Gamers First might have let go of 7 seconds, but they're not letting control of this game slip out of their fingers.
Falcated popping a dent into the forehead of Stepstool as he looks to continue here in the C side. Deedle pushing up through the B to C, but not able to take Sab down, but it's enough damage to get the cleanup as Sab goes down, but BXR go 3 down. Suspector gonna regain control of that oddball, and at this point they might just hold this all the way through at the back of C.
And I want to highlight a little bit about the sandbox here on Streets. We're very aware of it as you see the double assist come through with using that stalker rifle. But in this round, all I've seen from Rockets is gamers first, having both rounds of rockets. And then we see them time and time again with the Bulldog, with that red gun. It's making it very hard for BXR to gain any footing because they seem to be just outmatched and outgunned quite literally in every fight that they take. Again, 3 go down. That's going to be more time for gamers first. They're going to pass the 80+ mark. That means BXR have time to maybe formulate one more push.
Yeah, once again, we get to see the levels to this, as this is what BXR looked like against their previous opponent. Here against the likes of Gamers First, the ladder has climbed significantly higher. It's like if you're mountain climbing, you got to take that no ropes jump across the side and really hope you grab onto the side of a cliff. I mean, that's really all BXR can hope to do at this point. Down 83-7. Falcated, Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo, Sab 17-4 with 42 seconds of OBJ. So Sab showing up to play today, and so too did the rest of Gamers First. Look at Suspector, he's got a 2.0 plus KD with 141 seconds as G1 puts the finishing touches on this game 1 oddball with a win.
A nice, seemingly smooth 2-0 win here for G1. The roster looking woken up after initially going 4 down in the very opening break of round 1. After that, they were snapped right back into it, and they take this game how we would expect one of these top teams to be able to dominate. And that's only game 1 of this best of 5 series. But I want to talk a little bit about last week and how G1 performed. Ultimately, you mentioned how they dropped a map in winners round 2, but after that they started to really climb and maybe learn their lesson a bit.
Yeah, and I think that SSG matchup was the one that G1 wanted at Charlotte as opposed to that native white roster. But speaking of native red, that's really what's really interesting about native red is you got to almost bump everybody back. Maybe even dare I say that native white top 4 finish, which was historical, improbable from the open bracket side. I really do. I hate to say this, but I really do think you got to bump everybody outside of maybe even the SSG of top 3. I think Native Red, after the way they look online, I know it's online, but let's not act like they don't have the land performances to show that it's not a fluke. I think you got to, as far as power rankings are concerned, you got to put Native Red back in that 3 spot. And for Gamers First, that means they bump back to 6, maybe even potentially 7th, 8th, which is not where they'd want to be with that top 3 seed. Here in the last open series, top 5 overall. So important to note here, the way things really change based on Native Red competing in these open series and being back as a full team of 4.
Yeah, well, Native Red last week showed out. They ended up in that first place position on Thursday, and then G1 right behind. But you're talking about the Charlotte rankings and how that would have been shaken up had Native Red had their full roster there at Charlotte. I think that definitely gives us something to look forward to. Next time we get to land, we'll have these online stories built, but we're also going to have new rosters showing up that weren't here at Charlotte. We're going to have a few changes in rosters, and it's going to be every time there's just slight changes, and when matches are that close, the slightest of difference can really shake up the whole momentum. It's like a snow globe that gets flipped upside down. We're heading into game number 2. BXR need to flip this series upside down, but they lose those opening rockets. Gamers First had control of rockets time and time again on Streets. Looks like more of the same here.
BXR with that game 2 upset opportunity. We talk about it all the time. The underdogs always having a chance in the Slayer, as they've started off in a pretty good spot, only down 1 to Gamers First, despite the fact that G1, you look at Sab, he's got the T2 combo, rockets and sniper in his hand as he uses the rocket like a sniper with the long range detonation, taking down that player at mid bridge. And now Sab only has this battle rifle to work with. Got to question whether or not he's going to try to find that other weapon to fill in that secondary slot, but no, for now he's just going to snipe.
Yeah, setting up to body shots for teammates to clean up the kills and assist climbing. It's starting to work out really well. In fact, Sab doesn't need another weapon. He has 3 straight snipe shots. The third one, so close to a headshot to get that perfect triple kill. But here comes the rest of Gamers First, cleaning up the rest of BXR.
Sab showing why he didn't need a secondary, as it was all sniper headshots for him. Do we have more of the same here from Suspector? Oh, the no-scope body cleanup, the grenade body cleanup for Suspector on the other side of the map with that double kill. This is a lot of pressure for this BXR team to handle, and this is where Magic, the snowball, begins to roll downhill.
Yeah, you talked about this a lot last week about how Empyrean is such a snowbally map because of those locked spawns, and right now Suspector is locking BXR back to this needle side spawn, and to make matters worse, he stole their sniper to do so. He is not giving up this position without a fight. Looks like BXR are making that adjustment, prioritizing that target, and hopefully they can get some footing under them. This game hasn't run away yet, but it's on the brink of an avalanche. 20-10 as Gamers First double up the score. Sab's gonna have to fall back, try to stay alive, has the drop hole to utilize, tosses it out. 2 players, 3 players in front. Even a drop hole is not enough for the triple team.
All right, now we have Boo Boo Doo filling in where Suspector left off, quite literally with the double kill now on Deedle, the player we saw pop off before. Oh, Boo Boo Doo almost with the remote detonation. Almost looked like the drag of that aim assist pulled him off of the frag that he was looking to shoot. Instead, has more players spawning on that Mingler side. And last time, Magic, it was the split spawn for BXR, which helped them break this setup. But now it's all 4 down. This should be all 4 collectively spawning together, but with how much pressure is on their side of the base, they might actually split, and they do. So 2 spawning Sword, 2 spawning on Mangler's side. BXR in a blender right now, trying to find a way to get out.
Well, credit to Deedle, who spawned split and solo. Came out with a trade off of that difficult spawn position, but after he's taken down, so too does the rest of the BXR lineup. Stones with a nice melee takedown, but Boo Boo Doo has stolen their sniper again, locking those spawns down, holding sniper tower position. He has to be the priority target. Sate takes him down. They can grab the sniper. What did they lose in the process? They lost all map control. They lost the overshield, and I'd have to anticipate rockets as well.
Suspector with that overshield, not going to play it offensively. Instead, going to use the last glimmering yellow of that shield to just maintain his life, stay alive here, and really be a thorn in the side of this BXR squad as they look to push out from spawn. They've got to worry about Suspector over and over again. Suspector maybe feeling bad, has to do a little bit of damage on himself. Don't see that quite often as Suspector gets back in the fight. Scope aimed down the sight at all potential spawns here for this BXR roster. They have not been able to find a way out of their spawn yet.
And Gamers First are still on that pace of like 2-1. Every 2 kills, they give up 1. They have doubled up the scoreline consistently throughout this game. Boo Boo Doo applying that consistent pressure onto the sniper tower. 4 rounds of high caliber, deadly damage in his hands. He's looking at step stool at the top of Sword. Suspector's gonna take down that kill. And now Boo Boo Doo with nearly no shield left falls back, gets some cover, regens. He's gonna find 1, maybe 2 targets at the back of the base. Some opening damage onto 1, but see how he falls back? He still wants to hold onto this spawn. Locking spawns more important than over-aggressing on those kills.
Oh, great recognition there. Oh, and a great no-scope from Boo Boo Doo as well, as G1 secures the steak-tacular medium rare garlic butter. Anytime it's 25 or less, that's when you throw on a little bit of that basted garlic butter. You know, you let it simmer, throw some thyme, you put some onions and garlic in there, and you grab the spoon and you just start filling it up with that butter and tossing it back on the steak, as that's exactly what we saw from G1. Maybe even a Wagyu, as they only allowed 23 for BXR.
Okay, but what are the best sides for this steak dinner? Like, you talk about this butter garlic steak a lot, but I want to know what the side dishes are to complete the plateful.
Oh, the sides are key. A little bacon wrapped asparagus, as we see the parallel version of that with the Rockets. Great shot there from Sab. Got to have the bacon wrapped asparagus, and you got to have the loaded mashed potatoes as well. Oh, nice, the bacon, the chives, the jalapeno as well. As Sab almost put on a spicy performance with that triple kill. I thought he had it. As we see more highlights here from Gamers First. Magic, what were some of your takeaways?
It was the spawn G1 lockdown. I mean, I think that has been over time and time again. It's the control of sword side because you have both snipers, you have the overshield, you have repulsor, but most importantly, you're locking the spawns. And once G1 had that lockdown on the sniper tower, they were able to continually steal that power weapon from the hands of BXR and then also trap them off the respawn. So it's kind of double damage once you can hold that snipe tower position. Great plays there from G1, and I think one of the most textbook examples of how Empyrean Slayer should work in a perfect world, and G1 played practically perfect in that game too.
Yeah, and you might even, I don't know, you might even want those spawns to flip from just a pure development perspective. I think that would really prevent some of that snowball that we see. And it's not like we only see that from the likes of Gamers First versus BXR. We would see that in G1 versus Rebellion as well. So yeah. Those two spawn points being anchored on the side that you spawn on perpetually over and over again is why we see that snowball roll down the hill. And one of the reasons why I really prefer Empyrean CTF over Slayer, but nonetheless, we don't decide what the map and game type combinations are. We just get to commentate all the action alongside Magic.
Well, I think you brought up a really good point there, Mikowski, because you talked about how this applies whether G1 is playing BXR or if they're playing against, Native Red, if they're playing against SSG. Like, it doesn't really matter who the team is on the other side. This strategy is still effective, and I think that's what I really appreciate about how G1 played that game, is they were playing at a level of not just relying on their ability to outgun BXR, but they were sticking to a very clearly defined team strategy. And you saw that with Bubudubu specifically, having the sniper on the BXR snipe tower. He had the opportunity to push a one-shot kill, but he fell back to the tower to hold on to that spawn. And I think that's really smart for G1 to have that locked in regardless of who's on the other side of the game.
Yeah, and that's definitely why I think G1 got slept on last week, losing a match in winners round 2 last week, was because they just figured that their individual strength, skill, and performance would be enough to take down a winners round 2 team. But it's not, as we see another 3 down for each squad here. Saint picking up the overshield, so while Gamers First racks up some hill time, Saint has the sandbox in his back pocket.
We see this often and time again here on Live Fire for King of the Hill. You almost have to decide between First Hill and Overshield because they are on opposite sides of the map. And unfortunately, even with that Overshield pickup, it's not enough to break the hold on the objective. Gamers First didn't put all their resources into contesting that Overshield. I think there was a little triple kill that came through from Falcated to try to contest, but ultimately holding on to the objective and now setting up for the second hill. Here's Falcated on the objective. 2 players down for G1. Make it 3. Sab is last alive. He's a little of 1v1, and as he is dropped, we need to get on that hill, BXR. This is their chance.
2 seconds. That's all the game clock that had eclipsed when G1 scored that first hill. 4:58 on the clock when it became 1-0. All pressure, all force on this G1 side, but it was BXR who answered back with a little bit of a team wipe, and oh no, they got 50% on this next hill. Now G1 needing an answer back. Falcated going off the map, but 3-4 going down for BXR. So despite that slip and fall from Falcated, G1 is gonna get back in the driver's seat on the second hill.
We need one of those yellow caution markers, wet floor over there, because I'm not really sure what happened to step off the side of the map, but going for a little bit of a swim. Gamers First, though, the team wipe is going to have them regaining this hill and hopefully taking the lead as far as time. Bubudubu pushing into a 1v3 situation and only coming out with 1 slay there. BXR adjusting to that overshield player. A little bit of a 2v2 as they continue to break through on the hill. Falcated on the back stairs and the remote detonation from Sab is going to get a kill on that bottom tower frag location.
And now I know it's early, but Sab is really impressing me today as he lands the appropriately timed triple kill. As we stop down to talk a little bit about this player who many in the community were regarding Sab as the weak link on this G1 roster. I don't agree with that, but nonetheless, the community is going to have their thoughts and opinions. Sab has his killing spree and 1 more to boot as he's now 11-2 in this game. And if he carries this same level of performance, you might see him get past the likes of a Native Red. We know they can beat everyone up to that top 2 or 3 scenario for Gamers First. The question is, can they break through the very top? We've seen them break through all the way through to last year, coming into the top 8 on land. This year, I feel like it's kind of wild for them to continue to have that question. Can they break through? But so is the story for G1.
Well, Sab had the top KDA in both games 1 and 2 of this series, looking to go for the trifecta, the triple peat on this third match if he can hold on to what he has started right now. But if I talk about him too long, he's going to get taken down. I apologize to Sab for that one. BXR are down 0-2 on the hills. They have numbers right now as far as slays are concerned, and Saint adds one more. 11 seconds left on that overshield spawn. Saint has the snipe. He hits a nice body shot, hopefully seeing the assist come through, but I think that body shot was onto Sab, and Sab is not an easy takedown. Even though he was left that one shot, it takes that re-engagement and the full headshot from Saint to stop him in his tracks.
Yeah, filthy snipe there from Saint, and that's going to give this BXR team an opportunity to bring this game within 1 if they can put it together on this third hill. 3 going down for Gamers First. And BXR again with the lead in this particular hill. So they're winning some of the micro battles, but it's the macro, it's the bigger picture that they're going to have to worry about as Sab pushes in with teammate support. He'll go down and trade out. So too will Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo. 2v2 scenario here as Stepstool and BXR regain control of the hill.
Some nice time on this hill. We saw that on hill number 2 that BXR had it about halfway captured, and they're stopped at that same spot on this hill number 3. But they're playing with a certain level of intensity that we didn't see in the early stages of this game or this series. They know that they need to win this hill right here, right now, but they're not going to be able to do it if they can't stop Sab, who is shredding across the map. He's credited with 2 kills and an assist as 3 go down, 4 go down for BXR.
Communication, game sense on point for G1 as Sab earns that grenade kill through the shroud screen to earn himself that double kill and potentially this third hill as well. But again, BXR, I gotta give them credit. They have put up a fight on, despite outside of the first hill, they put up a really good fight on the second and third hill, getting as much as 50+ percentage points on the board. But is it enough? Boo-Boo-Doo-Boo with that repulsor melee combination earns himself the double kill. 3 down for BXR, 2 down for Gamers First. This is looking like a last-ditch effort. A little bit of desperation there from BXR as they go 4 down and G1 goes 3 up.
There's the third capture coming through for Gamers First, and there's something about that third hill that felt kind of heartbreaking. BXR had the first half of the hill captured before Gamers First were able to break through and lock down the objective. So a little bit of a tough one here for BXR, and I want to see how they respond. Spectre is on the run, fights a little bit of 1v1, and he takes just a little tick of frag damage, enough to keep his shields down, which means he has to pop that overshield the second he gets it in his hands, and already that overshield is melted. He didn't have time to milk the OS. He had to use it right away, which meant all that grenade damage goes to melt the overshield.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-1 there, and I'm not talking about a Quigley. Spectre earning the overshield and that additional hill time. Now past the 50% mark. Boo-Boo-Doo with the jump shot earns himself the double kill. If not for a player being in the lane, probably would have had a triple as well. As the third goes down for BXR, Spectre continues to maintain that hill presence, and it looks like G1 is right on the brink of a 3-0 sweep.
Looking for another snipe shot, the little cherry on top of this series, the 3-0 for Gamers First, and we expect no less from this team that placed second in the open last week. Now they're coming out strong. They had to get woken up in that first game, but once they had that, ice water splash in their face, they looked like they were ready to take today's bracket and potentially even carry it through to Thursday. As we check over some of the replays here, I really feel like the pivotal point was there on the third hill, where you saw Saint making huge plays, including this snipe onto Sab, the double kill. This is where they get the significant time on the objective, and then on the break, they couldn't regroup.
Yeah, we saw glimpses. We saw moments where it looked like this BXR team was up to the challenge, as this will ultimately just be some good VOD review for them to look over as they do take the 0-3 loss. But again, there's opportunities in the L's. Honestly, I wish you could spell I wish you couldn't spell opportunity without an L, because I think the two go hand in hand. When you take these L's, when you play against the very best teams, here's the opportunity to go into theater mode afterwards with your squad and start. We talk about copy pasta in the LVT chat all the time. Here's an appropriate use of it. Start to copy pasta what some of these top teams are doing against you. So I hope this BXR team is not discouraged. I hope they're heading back into the film room, because there is great opportunity in playing against these top teams, even if you take a 3-0 loss.